Right now at 11, a mother and son escape as their apartment building goes up in flames, while investigators are pointing to their neighbor as the arsonist.
We all could have died, and my son and I were so close to dying.
Plus, why a judge sided with an asylum seeker after she spent more than a month in solitary confinement. And later.
And he goes deep to center. Gone!
A big Mariners home run moment made even more special as his family watched him hit it out of the park. But first, we are just hours away from another weather impact alert. Good evening, David Mulco here with you on this Monday as we take a live look over downtown Portland where things are about to heat up. Chief Meteorologist Matt Sfano here with a first look at your forecast. Hey there, Matt.
Hey, David, thanks very much. You know, it's really a nice night outside right now. It's pretty cool. We'll get to the temperatures in a bit. And tomorrow morning will be fine, but it's really going to heat up tomorrow afternoon. So weather impact alert for Tuesday and Wednesday. There will be a high heat risk. So those who are susceptible to heat-related illnesses, you really want to pay attention to this. Try not to overexert during the hot part of the day tomorrow afternoon, especially on Wednesday afternoon, because that'll be the hotter of the 2 days. And just find a way to stay cool and stay hydrated. Take care of your plants, your pets, and any elderly folks in your circle of influence too, because we got to make sure they're okay. Okay, outside in Portland right now, 62 degrees. Remember that number for just a second, because here's what the temperature forecast will be from this time tomorrow night on. We're 62 right now. It'll be 79 at this time tomorrow night. So think about that. That is a 17-degree difference, 17 degrees warmer 24 hours from now. We won't drop out of the upper 60s tomorrow night. So not only will tomorrow be hot, tomorrow night will be hot, and that'll lead to the hottest day of the year so far on Wednesday when we get close to 100 degrees. Now tomorrow we may even have some morning clouds. So tomorrow morning will be fine. Those will burn off quickly as the east wind kicks in. It won't be a super strong east wind, but enough to keep the cold air at the coast at bay and to really warm us up next couple days. Also watching wildfire, that is the Cramp Fire in Central Oregon, north of Prineville there. That smoke should stay away from the Portland area, but we may get some high-level smoke drifting down from Washington and BC in the days ahead. That'll all be above us there. So record high tomorrow, we won't reach that. We won't reach the record on Wednesday or even the record warm low on Wednesday, but it's going to be hot. David?
Yeah, busy week, a lot to keep an eye on. Thanks, Matt. Meanwhile, emergency department officials want you to keep an eye out over the next few days for signs of heat-related illnesses. Heavy sweating, weaknesses, or dizziness are all signs of heat exhaustion. Taking it a step further here, confusion, high body temperature, or a loss of consciousness, those are all signs of heat stroke. If you experience those, immediately call 911. Also, remember to check on family and neighbors who are vulnerable, including seniors. Wear loose-fitting clothing and limit physical activity during the heat of the day. And finally, conserve energy and avoid running major appliances, dishwasher, washer, dryer, especially during those peak hours. Also note, if you don't have an AC at home, daytime cooling centers will be available across our area. To find one near you, you can call 211 or go to 211info.org. Be sure to stay with KGW for the latest on the blast of summer heat. Look for the latest forecast right here on KGW.com and on our free streaming TV app. It is KGW+. Well, tonight, Matt just mentioned it, a wildfire spreading in Central Oregon has exploded to 20,000 acres. This is the Cramp Fire near Northwest Highway 97, northeast of Madras, which broke out Sunday evening. Officials say it is now the largest wildfire burning in the state. Firefighters say gusty winds caused it to grow to the south and east, sparking evacuation orders, including in the Ashwood community. Crews have been working to protect structures there, though there is no word yet if any homes have been lost. Let's give you a look at the evacuation map there. The red zone, level 3, go now. It includes the area east of Highway 97 and south of 293. Yellow, be set, and green, level 1, be ready. Meanwhile, the Highland Fire burning in Crook County, 2 miles south of Prineville, has charred about 700 acres and is now 30% contained. That is great news. Evacuation orders remain in place, though it does not appear any structures have been lost.
I was already contemplating tying my clothes together to lower my child down, and then I was going to jump.
Yeah, that is what went through one mother's mind when she realized her East Portland apartment building was on fire. Incredible images here. She woke to someone yelling, she says, and grabbed her 5-year-old son. Though when she tried to escape through the front door, she ran into this, a wall of flames. That's when she busted out a screen window, and thankfully firefighters came to her and her son's rescue. The man accused of starting that fire, 40-year-old Sean Swartz, appeared in court today after he was arrested on Friday. He's charged with 6 counts of first-degree arson and other crimes. Investigators say Swartz used gasoline to start the fire in his first-floor unit. More than a dozen people lost their homes, including Reyes.
I think the biggest one is probably anger because, first of all, like us 5 families in the front, we all could have died. And my son and I were so close to dying.
Portland Fire says one of the victims that jumped out the window remains in the hospital. In an update tonight, after 40 days in solitary confinement, a judge has ordered the release of the first asylum seeker arrested by ICE in a Portland courthouse. The court ruling she was deceived by the federal government. Alma McCarty spoke with a woman's attorney after that decision. Alma?
Yeah, David, identified only by her initials, OJM. She's a transgender woman who fled Mexico, her lawyers say, due to cartel violence, lawfully applying for asylum. Her release marks the 5th of 5 cases brought by Innovation Law Lab.
Outside Portland's federal courthouse,
today was a hearing on our habeas petition on her behalf, alleging many due process violations.
attorneys celebrate another asylum seeker's release from ICE detention.
The judge agreed that her rights had been violated by the government's conduct and ordered her release, so she should be coming home today.
This latest case involving a 24-year-old transgender woman from Mexico, referred to in court documents as OJM. Jordan Cunnings, the legal director at Innovation Law Lab, says she's been in solitary confinement for more than 40 days for her own safety.
She's a transgender woman, and this administration denies the existence of transgender people and would hold her with men otherwise.
She was the first person in Portland, they say, targeted by ICE's immigration courthouse arrests.
On June 2nd, she was deceived into accepting dismissal of her case before the Portland Immigration Court so that masked agents could arrest her immediately after and detain her in Tacoma.
This team of lawyers also successfully fought for the release of 4 others, all arrested after immigration court hearings, all now back home with family.
The administration is trying to maintain a reign of illegality, and judges are stepping in and affirming that we are all entitled to due process, all members of the Oregon community, including immigrants.
Entitled to due process. So, Alma, what does that mean when it comes to this woman's case, given she essentially gave up, or her lawyers argue was tricked into giving up her asylum claim?
Yeah, David, although she has gotten past this obstacle, attorneys are appealing the dismissal of her removal proceedings to the Board of Immigration Appeals, hoping again she'll be able to continue seeking asylum. We reached out to ICE about this latest release, but we haven't yet heard back. David, back to you.
Thanks, Alma. Appreciate your update and the reporting there. Thanks so much. To get you caught up on tonight's other headlines, there, a former Catholic school vice principal has been arrested and indicted on 4 counts of sex abuse. Christopher Siebert is accused of abusing a minor while working at Regis St. Mary's in Staten between 2022 and 23. He also went on to work at St. Joseph Catholic School in Salem. Anyone with information here is asked to call Staten Police. Well, hundreds of search and rescue crews in the Mount Hood National Forest are looking for a missing mountain biker from Gresham. Investigators say 52-year-old Ralph Sawyer failed to return home from a bike trip on Friday. He was last seen that morning near Trillium Lake, an area officials say he is familiar with. Over the weekend, authorities found his car at a nearby camping area with his mobile phone still inside. And new tonight, photos show the damage a large pickup towing a wood chipper made after it crashed into a Southwest Portland home. This is on Southwest 57th Place in the Ash Creek neighborhood. No word on what led up to the crash. No one was inside the house at the time, luckily, and authorities say no one was hurt. Wow. New tonight, neighbors in Northwest Portland are pushing back on the city's plans for an overnight homeless shelter in the Pearl District. Catherine Cook was at a neighborhood meeting tonight where residents hoped to talk with city leaders.
In Northwest Portland, neighbors from in and around the Pearl District gathered to oppose the city's plans for an overnight homeless shelter.
We want to help, but we're not the cause.
It's slated for this building on the corner of Northwest 15th and Northrop.
If you know people that haven't written the mayor, keep writing out.
City officials tell us the 200-bed shelter would be low barrier, meaning people who stay here don't have to be sober. A chance, they say, for those people to move on to the next step of their housing journey.
Honestly, I think it's a really dumb idea.
Carly Ryder lives downtown and owns rental properties in the area. Instead of low barrier shelters, she wants to see more drug enforcement and a tangible plan to help people who want it.
I think it's just making it worse because it's just letting them congregate in those areas. They give them a place to sleep, kick them out during the day, and what are they going to do but hang around our buildings?
The Northrop shelter will bring Mayor Keith Wilson one step closer to reaching his goal of adding 1,500 new overnight shelter beds by December.
Come to us with a real plan that isn't fast-tracked and a half-baked campaign promise.
Todd Zarnitz is the president of the Northwest District Association, which put on this meeting. He's thrilled that so many people showed up.
I think it sends a message that this is not just a few people have concerns. This is a whole neighborhood that is very concerned about this project.
Zarnitz says he invited multiple city council members, county commissioners, nonprofit heads, and the mayor to this meeting, and none of them showed up.
And for Mayor Wilson's part, we did not receive any response from that office at all. So.
That, to me, says it's a bad plan. Because if it wasn't, why aren't you here?
KGW reached out to the mayor's office. A spokesperson sent us this newsletter the mayor published last month titled, "Here's what I want you to know about emergency shelters." In it, Mayor Wilson writes, quote, "My plan only works if host neighborhoods are empowered and safe. I'm determined to win the trust of emergency shelter neighbors and surrounding businesses through tangible improvements. That's why my budget includes increased funds for residential street cleaning, graffiti removal, derelict vehicle towing, and engagement workers." Despite pushback from neighbors, the city says they're still on track to open the shelter by September.
It's not enough to say, like, hey, we're in charge, everybody just stay home and we'll worry about it. This is a community of people that have real concerns and that are being ignored, frankly.
Neighborhood associations are planning another community meeting about the homeless shelter later this month. The city tells us one of the last steps they need to complete is getting a conditional use permit for the shelter from the fire marshal. David.
Yeah, Catherine Cook with the update tonight. Thanks, Catherine. New at 11, popular specialty grocer Trader Joe's is officially coming to Gresham. The store is set to open in the former Big Lots space on Northeast Burnside in the Oregon Trail Center. This is going to be Gresham's first Trader Joe's and the 11th in the greater Portland area. While an official opening date has not been announced, Gresham's mayor called it a, quote, huge win.